What's up, everybody? You read it right. Today we're going to be doing a review of Angi's. Angi is a platform that you can use to generate leads for your business, and they do generally any service type business. If you're providing a service, you can usually use Angi's to generate leads for you. Now, Angi's has been a couple things in the past. They have had a merger, and I'm not going to get into those nitty-gritty details. We're focusing on the contractor side of things. So, to start things off, we're going to get into it. I'm going to go over the pros and cons, give an overall rating based on 5 stars, and I'll give a couple of examples. Starting with the pros, we have lead quality. It kind of speaks for itself. A good amount of the leads that you get are exactly what you need. Lead verification. So I don't know all the details how Angi verifies leads, but I did pull something up and I'll show it to you guys too. Angi Leads uses several accuracy verification steps to get leads, including ensuring they come from legal opt-in sources and comply with federal and state do not call rules. So, and as far as the do not call, typically you're fine if it's in between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. That aside, most leads you get are what you're looking for. Customer trust. Now, this is a big one because Angi has their own reputation. If you're using Angi, you get to ride a little bit on their reputation, right? So, customer trust. If customers are getting on Angi's to find contractor work or service, and you're on there, they're trusting Angi, and that trust is going to lead to you. Ease of use. The platform is really easy to use. It's right up there with where it should be as far as tech goes, I would say, and it's really fast, really efficient. You can speak to your customers, call them, message them. You have their emails right there, and it's very easy to use. And the last one for the pros. Now, I got online to look at other pros and cons lists to kind of help form my opinion as well, and to maybe see if there'd be something I'm missing or not. But on a couple of lists, customer reviews were on the cons. And now this kind of blows my mind. I will pull up my reviews for you guys. And, as you can see, if you're doing good quality work, if you're professional, if you're a nice guy, customers are going to leave you a good review. First of all, and you should always send out the request for the review too. That aside, for me, the customer reviews, help create that business, help create that foundation that you're looking for, especially as a new startup. You crave those good reviews almost. But I seen it on a couple of cons lists, and I'm putting it on my pros list. I guess you guys can tell me down below on what you would consider a customer reviews on, if you see them more as a con or a pro. But in my opinion, it's a pro. But that leads us to our con list. And we have cost. So the first con being cost, I didn't do really a lot of research as to how they set up cost per job. Now, I know it's going to be size related. Like if the job size is a big project, it's going to cost a little bit more money. Now, I've seen leads go anywhere from $22 from $10. Now, most of my leads, I would say the average price is like right around $13, $14. It's not terribly expensive. You do got to, make sure your prices are right. But paying, if you're in a position now where you're just paying for all of the leads that you're getting, that's why it's on the con list, because if you don't manage it properly, you can end up spending a lot of money with very little return, and you got to pay attention to it. Another con is competition. You could be in an area where there's a lot of competition. So my area, I think, is pretty decent. I probably timed it pretty well. You know, I haven't had, you know, the competition is probably getting the bigger jobs that are paying really well, but the bigger that I grow this business, the more attention it'll get, and it'll draw in more of those bigger, higher paying jobs. And then, you know, you also got to bring yourself up there. The quality has to speak for itself. If I'm not doing good quality work, I'm simply just not going to get good quality jobs. But starting out, the reason it's on a con list, because if you're a startup, you're not going to know exactly how much competition you have. So you got to do a little bit of research on your end. And, you know, they're sending the leads out to multiple businesses. I think when I spoke to the guy, it's definitely no more than 5 people. He said it's usually in between 2 and 4 people, you know, so you have odds of it just being between you and another guy, and you have odds of, you know, it being between you and 5 other people. So that's why it's a con. You know, it's just not the greatest thing, right? Having to fight and bid jobs, but that's the way life is. In lead quantity. So I've gotten 3 leads in a week, 3 leads in a day, 30 leads in a month, 15 leads in a month. You know, and if you're getting 30 leads a month, let's say, you're probably only going to get maybe half the jobs or a little bit more. You know, I have my moments. I'll miss 3 jobs and then I'll get the next 5 jobs. So really for me, all it comes down to is making sure I call that person on time, which we're going to get to here in a moment. So overall performance. I'm giving this a very good rating. I'm just going to tell you guys. A 4.9. 4.9 stars out of 5. That's a really good rating. I like Angi. You know, people have their opinions about them. I haven't had anything negative impact me from Angi at all. It's helped grow my business pretty tremendously. I've had really good months from just Angi alone. You know, I don't know where some of the negative comments come from. Obviously, their business history, you know, is one thing, and that's something we're not getting into here. But I have nothing but good things to say about it. So I have a couple of examples. One of them is I recently watched a YouTube video. It was live, but I watched it after it wasn't live. And it was with Andrew. He does Jedi Junk Haul. I'm sure if you guys have watched some junk haul videos, you've already seen them. And then there's another guy, probably around my age, maybe a little younger. His name is Steezy. His channel is Steezy. I don't know if Jedi Junk Haul is the name of Andrew's channel or not. But anyways, they were talking, and they talked on how if you closing jobs over the phone, it's like 50-60% if you close jobs over the phone, versus if you're doing it in person, it's 90%. You know, you have a 90% probability that you'll close the job, and over the phone it's just like 50 or 60%, maybe less. I forget exactly, but I know the one was 90%. Anyways, and they pointed that out, and it's funny because I haven't had that experience. I've had no issues giving my prices over the phone and then showing up to the job, and it's pretty much, it is what it is. Now, of course, it's happened. It happens to everybody. You price something out. Yeah, I can do it for this price, no problem. You get there and it's like, oh, I didn't know. I can't do that job for this price. I'm going to have some type of upcharge. So, you know, and obviously meeting in person would get away from that inevitability of showing up to a job and it's priced wrong. You underbid it. You know, it's a learning curve for everybody. Eventually it's going to happen. If it hasn't happened to you, it's going to happen. You're going to underbid a job and you're going to be like, man. Anyways, you know, when a customer says, yep, I have a couch that needs to be hauled away. Okay, where's it located in the house? Oh, it's on the main floor. Or it's upstairs in the bedroom. Okay, what size is the mattress? Queen, king? Oh, full size. Perfect. And when would you like it done? Tomorrow. By the weekend. Okay, perfect. Well, I have a minimum of $80, and I don't see why I would have to charge any more of that. And I have an opening tomorrow at 10 a.m. Does that fit your budget? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. You know, you can't be afraid to ask questions on the sales side of things. I know people try and get in person because somebody's more apt to or inclined to say yes to a price when you're face to face. But for me, coming from a sales perspective, get the customer to answer your questions. Get the customer to say yes about a few things. They're going to be more apt to say yes. You know, if you're worried about your price, lengthen that project out that they're talking about. Oh, you do have stairs. Okay. Oof. Okay. And is it a recliner? Oh, it is a recliner. Okay. So we got here, what we have is a larger size couch pickup. It's a recliner. There is stairs involved. I have a minimum of $80, but because of some of the labor and because of the stairs, I do have to have an upcharge on there. It's going to be $130. You know, by stating you have the $80 minimum, by stating what they're going to pay with you, you've automatically shown there's some room that they can probably work with. Oh man, I don't know if that exactly fits my budget. Well, I'm going to be able to work in your time. You know, I have a pretty flexible schedule. I can, you know, the couch, it's a very heavy couch. And I already know you call the competition, you're going to be spending double that. You know, I'd love to be able to fit you in. Right now, I have the opening. I don't know, you know, sometimes the schedule fills in quickly. You're going to get the yes. So another example I have is managing leads, taking calls. So the number one thing for sure with Angi's is you got to call the lead quickly. Be one of the first people or the first person to call. And I'm talking within the first 5 minutes. You know, you're going to want to call the person pretty quickly. One thing, the competition is. Your competition is calling them as soon as possible. Some of your competition might solely just be sitting on the phone. They might have helpers out there. You don't know. You got to be on the call. They put in that request on Angi's. Hello, my name is John. I'm with Kzoo ECO Haul, and I'm calling in regards to an Angi leads request. Looks like you would like a mattress removed. Does that sound correct? Yes. Okay, sweet. So I just wanted to inquire about a couple details, and then we could touch on some pricing. Do you have a moment? Yes. Sweet. Okay. So if you could, what size is the mattress? Queen size? Okay, sweet. Easy enough. And where's it located inside of the residence? Oh, it's in the bedroom. Oh, okay, sweet. Is there any stairs involved? Well, there is stairs leading up to the bedroom. Okay, no problem. There is a little upcharge, but it's not expensive at all. No worries. So I have a minimum of $80 that I like to charge, and it doesn't really seem like I would need to charge too much more than that, given on the information that you've given me. How does $100 sound? Yeah, does that fit your budget? Yeah, it does. So just get the customer to say yes. Managing leads. If you're going to be in a moment where you won't be able to call the customer right away, turn off your leads. Do yourself a favor and turn off your leads. I've had moments of even like, okay, I'm going to take a break, use the bathroom, get something to eat, and sure enough, 20, 30 minutes pass by. I go back to my phone and a lead comes through. I'm glad I got the lead. I'll call, but now my chances of getting that lead are so much lower. Have your leads on when you can take the calls. If not, turn them off. That's going to be the best way you can manage your leads. Now, I've done it. I've turned leads on Sundays. Only once. I've only did it once. I did get a lead. I called the customer and they're like, wow, it seems really odd you're calling me on Sundays. I didn't expect it. I was like, yeah, when I have my leads on, I like to call the customer right away. And not to mention, if there's any sort of issue with the lead, Angie's likes us to contact them within the first hour, first 24 hours at least, if we were to, go for any type of credit request for the lead itself. Anyways, I show up to the job the next day, Monday, and she was like, yeah, my son looked over at me like, I don't know, Mom. I don't know. It doesn't seem too legit if he's calling you right now. Sundays are Sundays. You can keep your leads on for Sunday to be able to generate calls maybe for Monday morning. But I'll keep my leads on like from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. And it's typically 7 a.m. to about 5 or 6 p.m. throughout the week. Just like your typical standard business hours. That's when people are doing stuff. That's when they're going to be expecting it. It just seems to work out for me that way. And all of this is my opinion. This is based off of my experience. There are people out there that have a bad experience with Angie's. And those are people that you should also seek some advice from. They're probably going to tell you something that you might not have thought about or might not know about. And, for me, I've had a great experience with Angie so far. Thumbtack, not so much. And that's a review for a later time. I do want to say one thing, though. And this is for all you business brainiacs. This is for all you business brainiacs out there. So, this is the best thing about Angi. Emails. I haven't done anything yet, but I'm going to. Emails are one of the number one ways of marketing. It's one of the most clicked on pieces of marketing. And when people have discounts, it's one of the easiest ways to get coupons, the discounts, things like that. People follow through with their email. Not only does an email seem like a more personal thing, like you can personally get in touch with somebody, but with it being the number one marketing tool, every lead you get from Angie's has an email. Now, you can send them a quarterly newsletter. You can send them discounts depending on the time of the year or whatever you're doing. You can just tell them again, hey, I do junk haul services. Here's my contact information. You have all of their emails. It's probably the best form of marketing that there is. Angie's is handing you gold and you can run with it. Okay? That is definitely the best thing about Angie's. Like I said, I haven't utilized like a email marketing campaign. You easily could. Now I started the business at the end of January this year, the junk haul business. And pretty much every day I'm getting at least one extra email, right? One extra email added on. Now, you can do multiple things with that. You'll probably have to look up some guidelines and maybe some laws on maybe, if you have a particular or a unique niche, and you're trying to tell people about it or something like that. But generally, email is gold. Okay? So that's what I have for today, you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.